Welcome back, yogis. I'm excited to share my practice with you today, but I'm also really excited to share some of the progress that I have made on my yoga studio. I've been working hard, and the irony today is that I kind of match my yoga studio. Years ago, when I first started doing yoga, I received a purple mat from my mom for Christmas. And shortly thereafter, I received a purple water bottle. And then from there, I got some more purple yoga props. And let's just say my entire practice now has evolved from that one mat that I got back in high school. So, hope you enjoy this evolution. I'll continue to share as I add more art. We're going to go ahead and start in child's pose today. And remember, as with all of our practices, do what feels good for your body. So if you need a break, come back to child's pose. If you'd like a challenge and you know of a variation, feel free to add that as we flow. Here in child's pose, I want you to breathe and feel that breath expand all the way down the back. As you exhale, relax the forehead, maybe the chin, maybe the chest if the knees are open wide. Relax all of that a little bit deeper to the ground. Inhale, feel the space between the ribs expand. Feel the lower back expand. And then go ahead and come up to table, and we'll take some cat-cow, rolling through the back, connecting with the breath. Noticing the same sensations as you round in cat that you maybe felt in child's pose. And then notice the arch in the back in cow pose, and you're going to keep that length in the lower back when you go through down dog throughout today's practice. One more breath each way. And then go ahead and take one hand and thread the needle through the other arm, relaxing your shoulder, maybe the side of your head to the ground. You can keep the opposite arm extended out in front of you for support. I usually like to do that because putting all my weight on my shoulder and my head is a little too much for me. Go ahead and switch sides. If you want the extra twist, you can always take the supporting hand and wrap it around the back. One more breath here, really lengthening through the lower back. And then come back to center, dropping the forehead, maybe the chin to the ground, maybe the chest if your shoulders are already warm enough for that. Hips stay right on top of the knees, this puppy pose. And then walk the hands back in, coming to table. Take a few more cat-cow breaths, warming up the spine, warming up the core. We're going to do quite a bit of core work and twisting, wringing out the insides today. So we can start with the cat-cow undulations through the spine to begin creating that heat. Come back to neutral. And we're going to tuck the toes under and then hover the knees just an inch or two off the ground. Really engage the lower belly here. Maybe feel the fronts of the thighs fire up. Try extending one leg behind and then exhale knee to nose without sacrificing the bend in the bottom leg. One more time. And then this time push all the way back to split down dog. Take a big inhale, and then on your next exhale, you'll go ahead and release the foot to the ground, down dog, remembering how your lower back felt when you had that extension in the back for cow. You want to keep that same extension in down dog. You can stay in down dog, or you can come back to child's pose. And then we will all come back to that floating table. Toes are tucked, knees are a few inches off the ground. Extend the opposite leg behind and then curl it under. Inhale to extend, exhale, squeeze. Really firing up the abs, firing up the legs, the quad. Go ahead and inhale straight back, split down dog, reach through the heel, lengthen through the back, and then release that foot to the ground, roll the tailbone to the sky. You can keep the knees bent if you need to. You don't have to have the heels to the ground. I want you to focus on the extension in the lumbar spine over the heels to the ground. Again, you can stay in down dog or you can relax into child's pose. And we'll take a few breaths here. Feel the breath in all directions. You're not just inhaling in the chest. Breathe through the side ribs, through the back ribs. Feel the belly expand, feel the lower back expand. And then let's come to that floating table again. Knees just a few inches off the ground. Exhale, push back to down dog. Inhale. Exhale, maybe walk the feet if that feels good, starting to open up the calves, stretching out the Achilles, lengthening the heels to the ground, working nice and slowly, one heel at a time. And on your next breath, go ahead and jump or step the feet forward, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, fingertips touch, and then hands come to your heart. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release and jump or step back. We're going to stay in plank for a moment and then rock yourself over to one side, finding side plank. On an exhale, twist under the body, our first little twist for the day. Inhale back to the sky, exhale, twist. Working with your breath, reaching as far as you can underneath the body every time you twist. Come back to center. Find your solid plank, lengthening through the heels, lengthening through the crown of the head, and then roll yourself over to the other side. On an exhale twist, maybe give your pet a little scratch on the head. I'm actually rather lucky today because usually he likes to hang out on my mat, which makes chaturanga very difficult. After your twist, come back to center, back to plank, and exhale, push the hips back, down dog. Make sure you don't overextend the shoulders. Again, soften the knees if you need to, or walk out the feet. Really focus on reaching through the tailbone. Nice long lower back. Create one straight line from your tailbone through your fingertips. On your next exhale, jump or step the feet forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, hinge at the hips, dive forward. Inhale, lengthen through the lower back, reach through the crown, and then release and jump or step back. You'll probably want to be gentle and just step to these planks. Go ahead and find side plank, and we'll take 4 twists on this side. If you jump to plank, it can be a little bit jarring on your shoulders. Go ahead and come back to center, and we're going to flow through our first vinyasa. Making your way to down dog. And inhale, one foot comes up, split down dog. On an exhale, bring that foot all the way through, right in between the fingertips. And we're going to drop the back knee to the ground. So if you need some extra padding, feel free to roll up your mat. Hands rise up towards the sky. Continue to breathe. Maybe add a tiny back bend here. And then keep the length in the spine as you bring the palms to your heart and twist the opposite elbow to that front knee. Really squeeze with your core. The more you engage your abs here, the more you'll feel the space to twist. Gently release and come back to center, come back to that low lunge, and then release to the ground and step to plank. Roll over onto the opposite side now, and we will take our side plank twists. Exhaling to twist, inhale to the sky. Come back to center and flow through chaturanga on the exhale. Inhale, up dog, or you can always take cobra. Exhale, down dog. Opposite foot lifts up, reach through the heel, and then exhale, bring that foot all the way through. Soften the back knee to the ground again. You can even stay fingertips on the ground. If rising up is a little too intense on the hip flexor of the back leg, just keep the fingertips on the ground and continue to bring the hips forward. Either way, we'll go ahead and bring the palms together into your heart, hooking the elbow across the knee. Gentle twist here. Try to use the strength of your core to create the twist, rather than dumping all of your weight into your palms to try to leverage the twist. Release and inhale back to the sky. Exhale, hands to the ground, and gently step back to plank. On your next exhale, push back down dog, and we'll take a breath or two here to reach through the tailbone. On an exhale, jump or step the feet forward. Inhale, flat back, and release. Inhale, reverse swan dive, grow tall towards the sky, and then activate the abs as you squeeze the air out and bring the hands to your heart. Inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. And gently step back. Again, you can jump, just be careful of your joints because you're just jumping to plank, not chaturanga. Roll over to one side, reaching for the sky, side plank, and then exhale, twist. Back to the sky, and then release that hand to the ground, come to center. Exhale, flow through your vinyasa. From down dog, on an inhale, pick up one foot, hips stay square to the ground, really reach out through the heel of that leg, and then on an exhale, bring the foot all the way through. You can always wiggle the toes forward if you need to. Back knee drops to the ground once again, bringing the hands to the sky. Just a micro back bend if that feels good. The focus today is not on back bending itself, so we're not necessarily trying to create the back bend. Keeping the spine long, we're going to go into an unsupported twist. So opposite arm comes to the front, and then release that hand to the ground or to your knee and pick up the back foot. If you can grab a hold of the foot, great. If your quad is really tight and you want to wrap a strap around instead, no problem. The focus again is on the twist, not necessarily opening up that back leg. Release and come back to your low lunge. And then on an exhale, release the hands to the ground and step back to plank. We're going to roll over onto the other side now. Find side plank, reaching the floating hand to the sky, and then exhale, twist under the body. Inhale, back to the sky. Exhale, center, regular plank. Go ahead and flow through your vinyasa. Whenever you're ready, you can always skip chaturanga and just go straight to down dog. And then on the opposite side, pick up that foot, reach through the heel, and on an exhale, bring the foot all the way through, right in between the wrists. Drop the back knee to the ground and rise up, low lunge. Again, the focus is not on the back bend, so don't worry about overarching. On your next exhale, create that unsupported twist, opening the hands to a T, and then pick up the back foot. You can always bring the front hand down for support, for balance, while you pick up the back foot, while you get situated. One more breath here, focusing on the twist, and then release that back foot, low lunge. And then release the hands to the ground, and we will step back and take our vinyasa. No side planks on this one. Again, just like I did, if you want to skip chaturanga and go straight to down dog, that is perfectly fine. From down dog, on your next exhale, jump or step the feet forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Nice long spine. Exhale, contract the abs to support the spine. Inhale, grow tall again. Exhale, fold. Inhale, long line of energy out through the crown of the head. Nice flat lower back. Release and jump or step back. Rock over onto one side, side plank. Exhaling to add the twist. Inhale, back to the sky. Release that hand to the ground. Find a nice long straight plank and then exhale chaturanga. Inhale, back bend. And then exhale, down dog. Pick up one foot on the inhale. And exhale, bring that foot all the way through. Again, drop the back knee to the ground. And this time we're going to bring the hands to the inside of the foot, so you don't have to come up into your low lunge. Instead, we're going to find lizard. And I'm going to stay on my hands today because, again, the focus is on the twist for me. So I'm going to go ahead and roll the shoulders open towards that front leg. And again, maybe grab a hold of the back leg. My weight is on the outside edge of that front foot, so it allows the knee to roll open. And I have a little bit more space to create the twist, grabbing a hold of the back foot. Release and come back to lizard. Take a breath, lengthen through the crown of the head, and then tuck the toes. But instead of stepping back, we're going to take that floating knee over and try a side plank with the bottom leg floating. This is incredibly challenging, so if you would like to take fallen triangle instead, you can. Come back to center, find long plank, and then roll over to the other side, and we'll add that twist in side plank. So I like that floating variation of side plank because it's really good to engage your inner thighs. Go ahead and flow through your vinyasa, making your way back to down dog. And we're going to inhale the opposite foot all the way up towards the sky, hips stay square, and then exhale, bring it all the way through. Back knee, rest to the ground, and bring both hands to the inside of that front foot. Finding lizard. And then starting to twist towards the knee of the front leg, maybe dropping out onto the outside edge of that foot, resting a hand on your thigh for just a little bit of leverage to roll the shoulders open, create the twist, and then if you can, pick up that back foot. Again, you can always use a strap here if you can't reach the back foot. And you can play with the intensity here by maybe pulling the foot in towards the hip, or pushing the foot away and really opening up the chest instead. Go ahead and release, coming back to the front of your mat, tuck the back toes, and lift the front knee off the ground, keeping it floating, rolling over to the instep of that back foot, and extending the bottom leg, floating in that side plank. Again, drop that floating foot for fallen triangle if that is easier for you. We'll make our way back to plank, and you can either take a vinyasa or skip it if you're tired and go right back to down dog. One more breath in down dog, and on an exhale, gently jump or step the feet forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale. Exhale, dive forward, rounding at the last moment, and then extending, noticing the change in the back of the legs as you move through those different variations. And then instead of going to plank, we're going to gently step back to pyramid. Inhale, flatten the back, and then exhale, relax the body out over the front leg. Think about rolling down, belly button to thigh first, chest to knee, and nose to the shin. I know those proportions probably won't happen for you, but if you think of that step-by-step process, you'll continue to keep the spine nice and long in pyramid. Go ahead and flatten the back, and we're going to transition to revolve triangle. So if you need a block here, feel free to grab a block. The key in revolve triangle is to have really square hips. The more you can flatten out your hips, the more you'll be able to twist through the spine. Gently release the hands to the ground, and we're going to continue walking them around to a twisted wide leg fold. It's super awkward. That's okay. You're resting on the outside edge of each foot. You might feel a lot of intensity in that front leg in your IT band or if you have sciatica. Go ahead and walk your hands back to the front of the mat, pyramid, and then gently step forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale. We'll step the opposite foot back. Find pyramid first. So inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Again, grab your blocks. If it's too intense to rest the fingertips on the ground, use your blocks. Squeeze the core to create the space so that your spine can lengthen and you can safely roll forward over that front leg. Continue to engage the front leg so that you don't hyperextend the knee. If you have a tendency to hyperextend, maybe keep a soft bend in that knee. Flatten the back again in preparation for twisting into revolve triangle. You don't have to lift the free hand towards the sky. Sometimes it's really good to take that free hand flat on the lower back to make sure your hips are staying square to the ground. Gently release, and we're going to keep walking our hands to that awkward edge of the mat. So the legs are twisted and you are resting on the outside edge of each foot. Take your blocks with you. This is very awkward, but it is an amazing stretch if you have that tightness in your hamstrings and any irritability from your IT band. Walk your hands back to the front of the mat and gently step forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. And release. Let the head hang heavy. Gently step back. This time we will step all the way to plank. Exhale, down dog. We're going to start to slow it down here. All those side planks can be very intense on your shoulders, so you might be feeling it. Go ahead and soften the knees to the ground and shift the hips back for child's pose. Take a few breaths here. Just take a moment to recover. Relax the shoulders. And then come back to all fours and gently rock over the crossed ankles so that you come to a seated position. Keep the legs out straight in front of you. Inhale to the sky and exhale, fold. That same step by step that I talked about before. So belly button towards the thigh, chest to the knees, and nose towards the shin. Really lengthen through the entire spine. One more breath here. maybe engaging a little bit more with the arms. Whatever you happen to grab a hold of, pulling the elbows gently towards the ground, and then exhale, roll yourself up to upright. We're going to take one leg and cross the ankle over the knee. Inhale, one hand to the sky, and you're going to twist. Hook that elbow around the knee. You can either take a gentle twist by wrapping around and hugging the knee, or you can actually bring it to the outside of the thigh. If you feel really good in this twist and you have lots of length in the spine, you can go for a bind, taking that back hand and reaching around the back, trying to grab a hold of your opposite fingers. Go ahead and release your twist, extend the leg, and push the hips to the sky for reverse plank. Just taking a moment to neutralize the spine again. And then release the hips to the ground and we'll twist the other direction. Opposite foot comes across the knee. Inhale towards the sky and maybe exhale, hug or hook the elbow across the knee. Take at least a breath or two here before you try the bind. Take that time to check in with your body and see if the bind is going to be a good idea for you. If it's not, keep that back hand there for support so that you can continue to lengthen the spine and create the twist rather than forcing the bind and curving the spine, maybe putting unnecessary pressure on the discs in your back. Go ahead and release and find reverse plank again, neutralizing in between the twists, and then release the hips to the ground. From here, go ahead and find a cross-legged position. Maybe you stack the shins on top of each other, or maybe you feel comfortable in full lotus. Either way, we'll inhale the hands to the sky and then exhale, fold forward, feeling the same sensations that we feel in child's pose. Roll yourself back up to upright. Take another inhale to the sky, and then this time you're going to exhale, twist, opposite hand to that top knee. Inhale, the back hand reaches up and over for a side extension. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen through the side. Exhale, release and come back to center. We're going to uncross the legs, floating in a supported boat just for a moment, just for fun if you want. Find your cross-legged variation of choice on the other side, and then fold yourself forward. Inhaling, feeling the expansion all up and down the back. Walk your hands back in and take another breath to the sky. Exhale, twist to the other side. Back hand is there for support. Inhale, the back hand reaches up and over, extending the side. Exhale, recreate and deepen your twist. And then again, inhale, side extension. Exhale, come back to neutral seated position, uncross the legs, find that supported boat. Maybe extend the arms. And if you'd like, add a few extra twists here. Knees and hands reaching in opposite directions. Release and roll yourself down to the ground nice and slow and with control. And then the hands are going to come to a T, and we are going to twist the knees from side to side. But I want you to twist in a very specific way. So gently drop the knees to one side, hovering just an inch or two above the ground, and then on an exhale, really contract the core to bring the knees back to center. Inhale to the other side. Exhale, focus on using the breath and the abs to bring the knees back to center. Inhale, other side. Exhale, focus and squeeze to center. If you want to make this more challenging, you can start to lengthen the legs a little bit. Otherwise, keep the knees at a perfect 90-degree angle. Back to center, release the feet to the ground and roll the spine up off the ground, coming into bridge. You can take an easy bridge with the hands for support on either side of your body, or you can interlock the fingers underneath the body and roll open just a little bit more. Really focusing on finding the length in the abs and the length in the hip flexors, two things that get overused with any kind of core work. We're going to release back down to the ground, and we'll take a couple more of those controlled twists side to side. Knees and hips are at perfect 90-degree angles. Inhaling with control into the twist, and then exhaling using the strength of the abs to come back to center. One more time, either side. Exhale to center. Last time, inhale. Feel the stretch and then exhale, contract. Release the feet to the ground and roll up into bridge once again, slightly deeper bridge. If you would prefer, you want to jump right into wheel, you can do that as well. But again, today's focus is not on back bends, it is on the core work. So we're just trying to stretch out the abs, lengthen the front of the body after all of that core work. One more breath, and then gently roll the spine down to the ground, one vertebrae at a time. Pick up the feet and extend the legs straight to the sky. Maybe flex the feet and shoot energy out through the heels. Stay here if you're not comfortable with inversions or if you have any kind of neck issues. Otherwise, engage the abs and come up into a supported shoulder stand. The hands rest on the lower back, supporting you, elbows firmly planted into the ground, making sure that you're not looking side to side, you're protecting your neck. And you're just letting all of the blood flow from the feet to the head, getting lots of oxygen to your brain, reversing the effects of gravity. We'll take a few more breaths here. You can really stay in an inversion as long as you'd like. The key is protecting your neck, so pay attention to what your body is telling you. Gently release, use the abs to roll your hips to the ground. And then we're going to bend the knees and drop the knees to either side of our rib cage for happy baby. Grab a hold of the ankles, the big toes, the outside edges of the feet. And maybe you rock side to side, or maybe you stay centered and just focus on rolling the tailbone towards the ground. Breathing and feeling comfortable in that restorative pose. Bring the soles of the feet together now and wrap the hands around the feet. Let the knees open up wide. Let the weight of the feet pull the shoulders away from the ears. And then release, and we're going to curl up into a teeny tiny ball. Squeeze as tight as you can, forehead towards the knees. And then release and relax in Shavasana. So after any kind of twisting work, well, after any kind of yoga at all, but especially twisting work, you want to make sure that you take a nice, long, comfortable Shavasana. When we do twisting work, we're really compressing and releasing blood through the body. We're forcing it into different areas of our body to try to oxygenate and get good blood flow to those areas. So you want to counteract that with a nice long Shavasana where nothing is compressed, where blood can flow freely through your body, where you can just relax in a neutral position and really let your body recover. So I would encourage you to stay in Shavasana for as long as you can. I know we all have schedules, so we'll stay here for a few more breaths in the video. You can pause it if you want a little bit more time. For these last few breaths, just imagine the body getting heavy and connecting with the ground. Heavy as though you're about to sleep, the most restful sleep, the best way to recover. Again, stay here as long as you'd like. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and close out for the day. I hope you enjoy the progress on my new yoga room. I hope you're as excited as I am. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.